Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, I'm taking you through the process of pre-production, recording Budda Power Blues 60 new songs. We're preparing 2 new records and, well, basically we're preparing some singles and a new record. And the way we work is coming into the studio. I have a lot of ideas on my iPhone. We come into the studio, we play the songs or play the ideas, discuss it, create, and when it's okay, we record it. In 3 days we did 16 songs, which is really cool. So 3 8-hour days, including lunch. It's really cool. And I'll show you the process. But first of all, let me thank my dear patrons for supporting the show. And if you want to become a patron yourself, you just go to the link, follow the steps, and you'll be getting early access to episodes, a free video lesson every week, and a free backing track every month. Of course, my huge thank you. And you can support the channel by contributing to the tip jar on PayPal. If you're interested in guitar lessons or vocal lessons with me, just send me an email or a direct message via Instagram or Facebook. Let's go inside. Okay, we're outside. Let me show you the inside of the studio. Here's the main door. And by the way, I'll show you my pedal platform. So I have it all organized here. This is delays and reverbs. Some of the pedals here. Some empty boxes from the pedals I'm using. And this is the bigger one. Overdrives, fuzzes, more overdrives, and more overdrives. I have some overdrives. Then this is modulation and some other stuff, but mainly modulation, the volume pedal, wah-wah pedal, etc. Just to show you. This I'm recording with a T-bone microphone, a Rebone microphone here, and an Electro Voice there on the corner of the room. So they are my far room mics because we are recording drums and band inside. And as you know, or as you should know if you watch the show, I always record live. So this is how the room looks like. Drums here, usually they are here. And I'll show you the mics in a minute. Then I'm in the middle and Carl is back there. Let me show you the drum mics. So first of all, we have this Soundtronics Apollo 2 looking this way to the drum. So it's a room mic, but it's more of a general mic. Then here I had my TG88. I took it off for an episode. Here's the Ketrum sub kick, capturing the subs of the bass. This is my new drum set made by Ketrums. Then we have Sennheiser 604 here on the snare. And a pair of overheads by Dynamic M130, I'm sorry. Although I have this other Sennheiser here, it's not being used. I don't like to mic toms. But it's here because I recorded a band previously and it stayed there. This is the Bullet, the green Bullet mic, looking down on the kick drum. I love it. And it's plugged into my GHS color box. Distorting it a little, just a little, and it's very punchy, very lo-fi sounding. This is my control pit. Now it's not, it doesn't have a Pro Tools session opened up. Oh, and I'm recording this hose around the drum kit going into that SM57 mic. This is a Sylvia Massey trick. Let me open up Pro Tools. I'm using the Apollo Twin as the preamp for the room mic I previously showed you. This is the 6176 is my vocal preamp and compressor. This is the room mic. The AMEC is the room mic compressor for the Apollo going into the doctor here. So these two doctors, so they are compressor and equalizers. This is one of my guitar preamp and EQ. Another guitar preamp, Helios. So usually I use the 511 going into the distressor, the Helios going into another distressor. And I'm also using the Guedes MA5 for the guitar. So this is the signal chain, although I'm only using the Guedes and a little compression. Then the 511 and the Helios are going to these distressors. The Helios is going to this one. The 511 is going to this one. This is my overhead mic pre going into the API 2500 compressor, and then going into the Kush Audio Electra equalizers. The bass is going into the Triton Audio D2O, and this one is going into this Lindell and going into here too. The other bass line, the DI bass line, is going to the Tonelux MP5A, and I'm EQing it with the EQ5B. Kick drum, channel strip, so kick drum here, DBX 560A compressor, and 550B API equalizer. This is my signal chain for the kick drum. This is my signal chain for the snare drum. Guedes Audio MD7, 560A, 560B, 550B, I'm sorry. And that's basically it. Let me show you how I mic the bass. This is usually my bass amp, and for Budda Power Blues this is definitely it. Carl loves it and I do too. So it's the Bassman 100 using the bass side of things. Let me try to show you. Volume on 5.5, and it was distorting a little in a very good way. Treble at 5.5 and bass at 7 and something. Master almost all the way up. That's it. And then we're miking it. It has this strange cabinet. I call it the Bruce Lee cabinet because it reminds me of the mirror room on the Dragon Attacks or whatever. Miking it with this cool Sontronics podcast mic. I love it on bass and on kick drum. That's basically it. Let me show you. This is my vocal mic. Although we're not recording vocals, I always like to have a vocal mic standing around because I can record some scratch vocals. And this is my mainland, so I'm using these two beautiful amps for now, and I'm loving it. The 65 London Pro amp on one side, dry, using just the Vox EF86 side, and then the Deluxe Reverb reissue, the 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue, that I also love. This is my pedal board, and I'll show it in a minute. So I have two pedal boards, but mainly the right side pedal board is my vocal pedal board and my spare pedal board. So half of it is for vocals. I will demo it in another episode. This is my preamp for the vocal, slapback and reverb. And then the effects go to this radial DI, and the direct distorted, kind of distorted tone will go from this box. This is for guitar. My brand new Ibanez Tube Screamer 40th anniversary. The EP booster as a boost, and then the volume pedal. They're all always on, including they're all in line with this wah-wah. So it's an always on section. Then the rest of the pedal is controlled, the rest of the pedal board is controlled by the Boss ES8. Although this side, the Tube Screamer, EP Booster, Layla, volume pedal, and the wah-wah are into the Boss ES8 volume pit. So I can hear, let me try to focus it. I can change the order. You can see the V here means volume. So I can change it. Can change the order of the pedal. I can put it after or before the drive pedals, depending on what I want. But now I have all of that section after my drive pedals, before the delays and modulation. As usual, I'm using this section as my delay section, and usually they are linked together in a big delay, but I can press simultaneously here and I get, well, the opposite way. So this is long delay. This is the Analog Man slap back, and I turn off the MXR carbon copy. My trusty Voodoo Vibe Plus by Roger Mayer. I love this vibe. The Line 6 M5 is my do-it-all. It's the Leslie, the tremolos, sometimes the slapback, depending on the presets. And it's MIDI controllable by the ES8, so I can change presets to do what I want. Like, for example, here, my first tone I have the rotary. On the second tone I have reverb. So, really cool. As for the drive sections, I have my broadcast that can be a fuzz too, or just a light overdrive. The Gen Ray, which is my solo drive. And the Octavia by Roger Mayer, which is my octave sound fuzz. I also have the SP compressor. It was having some issues in the low setting. I just sprayed it with contact spray. I hope it solved it. Otherwise, I bought an MXR mini Dynacomp that I love, so it's probably use it. And the great thing about the ES8 is that I can put this compressor after or before my drives, which means it can work as a boost or as a compressor to the drives. Then I have the ZVEX in another loop, the Fuzz Factory ZVEX. I love this pedal, attached to the Boss G7 equalizer, which means I can either turn it on or off, so I can tailor the fuzz sound. Sometimes I need to scoop the lows or whatever. And that's basically it. I'm miking the deluxe reverb with my trusty Beyerdynamic M160 going into the 511 Neve mic pre. The Electro Voices Vintage is very mid-rangey, so I love to pair it with a Beyerdynamic. It's going to the Helios, which is also a very mid-rangey mic pre. And then here I have a new stuff, two SM57s, although the down one is a Granelli Audio Lab, but doing with this Fredman technique, which is basically using this 3D. Let me try to get more light in here. It's basically using this 3D printed clip that gathers the mic and makes it in a 45-degree angle. Then it's going to this art accessories box, which sums the mics to just one output and exactly the same. So I'm sending it to the MA5, and I'm having 3 tracks of guitars, stereo, and the deluxe reverb has the reverb on the amp, the tremolo on the amp, and also gets when I'm using just the slapback on the Analog Man, it just goes to the deluxe reverb. The MXR carbon copy goes to the 65 amp. So I kind of have a wet dry rig because the deluxe reverb gets the always wet effects unless I'm using stereo wetness, and then I'm using the 2 amps. It's a very complex setup, but very simple to operate. Just hard to program, but it is what it is. And I love to use the deluxe reverb tremolo without the tremolo on the 65. It kind of sounds stereo, Fender Rhodes, but it also sounds like a phaser to me. And usually I have it on my preset here, so this means I trigger on and off the tremolo on the deluxe reverb, and this turns on and off the reverb. So I always have the option of turning on and off the reverb and tremolo here manually. Oh, and I forgot to tell you about this Lela splitter. I just use it in case I need the amps to be in phase with each other. In this situation they are in phase, so it's in standby. But I have it here because if I use the Marshall channel of the 65 amp, it will be out of phase with the deluxe reverb, so I have to switch the phase in case I want it. Okay, so here am I with my 65 amp on this side, my, well, 65 amps and 65 deluxe reverb. Fantastic. Okay, so let me guide you through how I use the board and what I get. So with the ES8 I can program presets, and a lot of times I only use one preset per song, but it's very powerful because I can use like a Leslie preset on, for example, on the M5. And then on preset 2, I have a reverb. And as you can hear, by changing to preset 2, I also turned on the reverb and the tremolo on the deluxe reverb. So I have this beautiful one-side tremolo. So it's very powerful. I wouldn't change it for anything. For example, on this preset I have reverb just on that. I won't go deeply through my pedals because I basically showed you all of it in an episode. If you want to see it in depth, go and watch it. But I'll show you how I have it set and what has changed. So I have this sideboard here where I have a volume pedal now, where I can do stuff like if I want to turn on, for example, the delays, like this delay. I can do swells. I can also boost a tone with the EP booster. I have it set in minimum, but it fattens up the tone. So hear it just without it. With the EP booster. So it's basically a character changer. If I want it to sound a little warmer and a little louder, and of course I can set it as a booster too, but just for that character, because for example, if I have the Octavia, it's sometimes a very bright pedal, and for some songs I want to tame it. Hear it without the EP booster. So it's a huge difference in character, and it can save you life. With a Gen Ray, for example, having the Gen Ray set for my lead overdrive. If I turn on the EP booster, so it's fatter, less bright, but fuller, which is great as I use it, because when I'm playing a lot of notes, I want it to be a little thinner. Like with the broadcast, I want it to be thinner so I can play rhythm and it doesn't mush up, the technical term. So if I want to do something like, and then if I want a solo, I want it to be fatter, so I'll probably put on the neck pickup and hit it. Hear the difference. So it's not more distorted, it's just fatter, and that's how I use it. I recently added the Ibanez Tube Screamer here. I'm not a big fan of tube screamers, but this red one really caught my eye, and at the store it sounded great with my Supro. I'm not liking it as much with this amps, so I'll probably put another pedal here. I'm thinking about the Bad Bob Boost by Analog Man, which is brighter. It's the opposite to the EP booster, so I have a boost in my color. But for example here I can have it set like the broadcast directly, and this is after the overdrive, so have the broadcast like Tube Screamer. Yeah, but it has that character of the Tube Screamer that I don't like, so it's going. So I was turning cameras off and decided to change the Bad Bob just to show, just to tell if I like it. And I love it. It's unbelievable what it does to the sound. I have to figure out a better position here because it's hard to step on it, but I'll do it for sure, easily. Small pedal. So hear it. Clean amps, no effects at all, not even the compressor. Bad Bob. Really great, and I can tame it with the EP booster on after it, so just the Bad Bob with the EP booster. Bad Bob. Two different colors, and they even work great together. But hear what it does to the broadcast. Here's the broadcast. Bad Bob with the broadcast. Gen Ray with the broadcast. The Zvax Fuzz Factory. With the Bad Bob. So it shaves off a little of the low end, it brightens it up, but not extreme. Love it. I'm keeping it. It stays. Thanks. Let me show you how I set my board. So I have on bank 0, I have a bank per song So every song has its own bank. Then on my setlist app, I have the number of the bank of that song. So when I program set lists, I can then copy them to, for example, starting on preset number 60 being my first song of the show, and then they're on. So I go from 60, next song 61, next song 63, etc. But if I want to go some other song, I just need to know the number of the song and go there directly. But this saves me a lot of time searching for the songs. So how I have it set on bank 0, I have one amp, the other amp, and both amps with a compressor on, because whenever I have clean sound, I always have the SB compressor on. And today it seems it's working, so I have the MXR Dynacomp Mini to replace it, but I don't think I have to replace it. Great compressor, by the way. So SP compressor going into the deluxe reverb. And of course the deluxe reverb has reverb. And I have it super wet. It's on 7, the reverb, because I join in the 65 London Pro completely dry. So here's the 65. If I join both, now if I join the reverb on the deluxe reverb, and if it is too bright, I can add the EP booster. Okay, I can also add the tremolo, and it gives me that Fender Rhodes thing where you have a stereo tremolo. Although in this case I only have a mono tremolo on one side, on this side, but you're hearing it. Have the reverb. That's basically it. If I go into memory manual, so if I go into manual mode, I can access all my pedals. So this is the compressor, the SP compressor. Without it, it makes it louder, but it also makes it fuller. The ZVAX Fuzz Factory. And I added the equalizer after it so I can tailor its sound. For now it's like in a brighter setting. With it on. I can cut a little of the lows because sometimes in the mix I don't need those lows and I just need a little more mid-range. Instead of and it might sound too thin right now, but in the middle of a band sometimes the ZVAX Fuzz Factory is a little too scoop. It's super loud, but not it doesn't cut through the mix. So having the graphic equalizer after it enables me to get a million different sounds. So I can take off the treble, but add on 800 and 1.5, and in this pedal just a little is enough to make a huge difference. I can even restore the bass and just have the boost in the mid-range. So very, 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 very useful in this manner to tailor the great Zvex Fuzz Factory sound sometimes. If I need it, if I don't need it, I don't use it. My Univibe sound is the amazing Roger Mayer. Great sound. The Roger Mayer Octavia. Chen Ray, I showed you, I use my broadcast as my light overdrive, where I pick quietly and it sounds like a clean song. But if I hit it hard, so it reacts like a tube amp at the edge of breakup. But then I have the extra side of it, which is basically a fuzz. And if it's sounding too harsh, I add up the EP booster. It's kind of subtle, but not subtle at all. It changes completely the feel of the pedal. And then for my delays, I usually use it and like this. So they do this kind of stuff where I use, for example, the broadcast fully on. You can understand it, but sometimes I press simultaneously, and that's why they are in this shape. I press simultaneously this button, and the AB on the ARDX20 changes from one row to the other. So on the tap tempo, the Mazio tap tempo, only works on the down row or on the B row. So my A row is kind of a slapback, but it's a very beautiful dark slapback. And it's going only to the deluxe reverb, so it sounds a lot more interesting because it's not going to both amps, so I still have the dry. As opposite to okay. So I have that set, but accidentally what happens is that I forget in the last song I was using it with the longer preset, and when I'm going to a slapback, I think it's on slapback, and this happens. Okay, so what I end up doing is programming my my M5, my line 6 M5, to have a slapback, for example. The difference between this and my ARDX 20 is that on the Analog Man, I have it going to the deluxe reverb only, and this I can only have it stereo if I'm plugging in stereo. So here's the difference. This was the M5, now the ARDX. Again. This is a slow Leslie. But I can set it to do like a 1 repeat delay. I use it for songs like I Want to Please My Baby, or somewhere where I want to solo and I want to have some ambient but not a reverb. So this is a delay I call the 1 repeat. And I have it set for example, the song I Want to Please My Baby. It's in time with my rhythm, so it's like this. And it only plays 1 repeat. Okay, the fast Leslie. I love it with a little slap back. Then I have some special effects like reverse delay. My big delay. I have the octave that I use with the ZVEX, for example, for Tony, my German friend. Without the octave, with the octave, and if I kick in the equalizer to tame the low end a little. It's a great effect. Love it. Then I have the swell delay, which I use a lot, and I used it before I had the volume pedal, but it's great when you want to use that automatic swell. And if I want to use it even more, I'll put on the long delay with my analog delays. I kick it in. Really great. I have a slap. Another slap, but this is a stereo delay from the M5, and I set it to get just to the deluxe reverb, but it's not as I don't fancy it that much, the quality of the delay, because it's a digital delay, but so comparing it with the Analog Man Slapback, it's bright, more pronounced, but it's good. Then I have the room. The room is really cool. Makes me be in a small room, hear it with the difference. Love it. It's the tile effect, and that's why I love the Line 6 effects, because very useful. Vibrato. Really cool. I have a phase. Basic phase 90. Super huge reverb I use for a song, It Hurts Me. It's called cave reverb, I'm sorry. And I have a soft reverb. I have a pan which I use on a song called Blue Sticks With You. So it does that thing. Probably now I would do it with just the tremolo on the deluxe, but I also have tremolo. And that's it. So I use it for all of these effects. And this is my pedal board. I will do an episode just on the vocal part of it, because I just rearranged it. With the DI, I was having troubles live with the pedals. When I turned them off, they would do a huge pop, so I solved that with the DI. But I'll do an episode on that. Thank you so much for watching. I would really love to hear your comments about all of this, and to know your opinion, and to know what you like. Thanks a lot to my patrons for supporting the show. You guys rock. I can't tell that enough. I can say that enough. You're really great. Thank you so much. And of course, if you want to become a patron, it's simple. Go to the link. You'll be getting early access to episodes, a free video lesson every week, and a free backing track every month. Of course, my huge thank you. You can also support us by contributing to the tip jar on PayPal. And if you're interested in guitar lessons with me, just send me an email or a direct message via Instagram or Facebook, and we'll deal with it from there. I'm teaching via Skype, so I can teach anywhere in the world. Thanks a lot. See you next week.